Now let me talk more about the methods, and this is important for the further concepts and very interesting. So let's say, again, let's go back to our calculator to get some more understanding of it. So I will say it's not a computer, it's a calculator. Of course, in a computer as well, we can do calculations, but just to keep it simple, let's go with calculator. So we got this class here, and let me also create the object here. And there's no compulsion that a class should have the variables and methods. We can keep it empty as well, that perfectly works. So you can see we got calculator obj equal to new calculator. And then here, I want to, let's say, add two numbers. I know you'll be saying we have done that before, but let me just do that once more and you'll understand what I'm doing. So you can see I'm saying public int, I want to add two numbers. Why int is because I'm expecting some return value, and it will accept two values. One is n1 and one is n2. And here I want to return the value. Of course, you can simply return the addition of it. So you have a choice. You can create a separate variable. What I'm saying is you can create a variable like result, and you can say n1 plus n2. And here you can say return result. This works. We can actually do a shortcut here. If you look at this variable, result is only used once. We have assigned the value and then we are returning a value. So can we just do this? Can we just say return n1 plus n2? We don't have to create a new variable. Okay, so you will get used to it. Once you start making progress, you will get used to it. So you can see we got a calculator which can add two values and then returning the addition of that. This perfectly works, right? So what I will do here is I will come back to my code. I will say obj dot. I can call this add method which will take two values, 3 and let's say 4. So it will return a value, right? So I will say int r1. So int r1 is equal to this addition, and I can actually print this value. So let's compile this code. Not running directly. First, you have to compile the code and run. You can see we got 7. This works. So what we are doing is we are calling add by passing two values, which is 3 and 4. What if you want to add 3 values? Well, that will be tricky. So of course you will say, think about this. If you want to add 3 values, the first thing comes to your mind is, it's easy. We can change this particular method which accepts 3 values, right? And of course you have to pass 3 values, because if you pass only 2 values, your compiler will feel bad. Compiler will say, hey, you have a method which accepts 3 values and you're passing only 2 values. Not fair. Okay, so you will say, okay, I will pass 3 values, and that perfectly works. I will just compile this code and run, and you can see we got 7. Oh, we got 7 because we are still adding n1 plus n2. We are not adding n3. So let's compile and run. You can see we got 12. This is working. But there's only one little problem here. Not a little problem, actually a big problem. What if now you want to add 2 numbers? Sometime you want to add 3 numbers, sometime you want to add 2 numbers. Again, it will not work. Your compiler will say, hey, we are expecting 3 values and you're passing only 2 now. Unfair, right? Okay. How do we solve this problem? Maybe if there is one solution which comes to my mind is, what if you can just create another method which can accept 2 values? I can say public int add 1, which will accept int n1 comma int n2, and this will return n1 plus n2. Now this perfectly works. The only thing you have to do is you have to remember what method you have to call, because add 1 adds 2 numbers and add adds 3 numbers. Of course, you can make it more effective by naming the method name as add 2 numbers, add 3 numbers. Okay, we were able to solve that, but the problem is the moment you have more methods, you have to maintain the documentation for those methods. And also, it's very difficult to remember the method names. Add method looks much better, right? Instead of adding 2 numbers and adding 3 numbers. So can we do this? Can we have the same method name? That can solve our problem like this. Of course, I have 2 methods, but they have the same names. The only thing which is changing is the parameters. If you can see, this add takes 3 parameters. This add takes 2 parameters. So that's right. We can have the method name with the same name. The only requirement is they should have different parameters. Example, if you make it same parameter here, again, it will not work. It will say it's a duplicate method add. We can't do that. So basically we need to have different parameters. And it's not like they have to be in numbers. They can also be of a type. What I'm saying is, what if you want to have the same method? I can just reuse my code here. And instead of int, I can also have a double value. So I can say double n1 and n2, and I can just simply return. The only thing is when you have double and int, you return with double, because double plus int will give you double. And that's it. So it's not just about the number of parameters, it's also about the type of parameters. So you can have different number of parameters, or you can have same number of parameters but of different type. Now this concept in Java is called method overloading, because you have two methods with the same name. In fact, three methods here with the same name. What is different is parameters. It is called method overloading. Now likewise, we also have one more concept, which is called method overriding, where you also have the same name, but things work differently there. It's more about inheritance and a thing. At this point, we are focusing only on the overloading part. How about this? See, every method will have a name and parameters. What if you have the same parameter, but a different return type? Even that will not work. It has to be with the parameter itself. This return doesn't matter. What matters is the name and the type. So that's it from this video, where we have talked about method overloading. In the upcoming videos, we'll talk about something more.